We're now moving on to the next presentation, which is getting in with Google communities. We'll be having two people doing the presentation. One will be Sajini Jayawardena. Now, Sajini is a manager of Google's business community and related activities in Sri Lanka. She's passionate about technology, marketing, and communities, and has been spearheading most of the Google's business community activities and events across Sri Lanka over the last 4 years. She specializes. Her specialty is, in fact, innovation strategy and marketing, with over 80 years of experience in digital innovation in the retail, fashion, and advertising space for companies in UK, Europe, and Asia, while also coaching and mentoring startups and SMEs on launch to growth stages and participating in various startup accelerators across UK and Singapore. So that's Sajini Jayawardena. Then we have Indu Nanayakkara. Well, Indu is a co-manager of GBG Colombo and the lead for Women Will in Sri Lanka. She is a firm supporter of local entrepreneurship and the startup ecosystem, especially in terms of female entrepreneurship. Indu specializes in social media and digital marketing, strategy and training. She's one of the leading industry experts in Sri Lanka with more than 10 years of experience in the industry and 6 years of digital agency experience as a head of digital marketing team at Loops Solutions. She has worked with hundreds of different brands and companies, both local and overseas, with every aspect of digital marketing. She also conducts training and workshops both online and offline. That's Indu Nanayakkara. So, people, put your hands together for Sajini Jayawardena and Indu Nanayakkara.
Hi. So it's really nice to see like a house full of people. Usually in all the Google I/O events in Sri Lanka, we have up to around 3,000, odd people. It's really great. So what do you think the theme of this year's Google I/O is going to be? Anybody guesses? Nope? Okay. So it's going to be all about artificial intelligence, right? And going beyond mobile. So there'll be a lot of increasing focus on AR Core, on Google Daydream, and Tilt Brush and other experiences. So you'll be seeing more of that with Sundar Pichai's keynote in a couple of minutes. Moving on, I'm going to tell you about how you can participate with Google communities in Sri Lanka. What are Google communities? So Google communities are Google's evangelism arm wing, where they conduct workshops, user trainings, events like Google I/O, GDX, etc., for all their users throughout the world. So in Sri Lanka and across the world, there are 5 main communities. So GDG is the Google developer community, whereas GBG is the business groups, which I'm a part of. And then we have the local guides, Women Will, and Women Tech Makers. So Women Will is for the business women, whereas Women Tech Makers are for the developer women. So what do we do as Google communities? One more important aspect of Google communities is it helps us relate with Google from all the way, like in US, where it's mostly proliferant, to all the way throughout the world. So in Google communities, we help share knowledge, we conduct training programs, and we also do Google events, and we connect with like-minded individuals. So throughout the Google communities, there are over 50 million people, Google users, throughout the world in Google communities. So Google Business Group, what is it and how does it work? Google Business Group is Google's community for business entrepreneurs, professionals who are working, as well as aspiring entrepreneurs. So what we ideally do is we connect them with Google technologies. We provide trainings. We also give app suites, etc., and other products which come from Google. Some of them test phase as well. And we help them learn, we help them engage with Googlers, get mentoring for their businesses, for their startups, their ideas. And we also help them connect with the 150 chapters that we have globally. Our mission is we help entrepreneurs from the growth to the success stage. So growth stage meaning where you launch your product, where you get to devise your business plan, then you go out into the market, and then you do your final appraisals, and then you go out there. Then success stage is where you acquire your 1 to 1 million users, right? So with Google Business Groups, we've served over 150,000 entrepreneurs and startups for the last 4 years across the world. And we have about close to 46 active chapters as of 2018. Here are some of the global summit leaders from Google Business Groups across the world. They are at Google I/O at the moment, and we've got a lot of variety in terms of diversity, from people from Africa, from Brazil, from the UK, and so on and so forth. How can Google help startups? So in Sri Lanka, Google runs 3 main programs. So one is the G Suite and apps for startups. And the other thing is the growth hacking program, which is a start to grow phase program where we train startups from ideation to analyzing optimization of their businesses and so on and so forth. And then we have Google certifications. These are the non-paid certifications which we get as a privilege of being a Google community. And these are direct Google certifications for digital marketing, for strategy, for other tech tools, analytics, etc. The GBG program covers some of these areas. That's growth hacking, Google My Business, App Suite, UX, UI, analytics, AdSense, and a lot more. The Colombo Chapter. So the Colombo Chapter has been running since around 2012. And we've had over 250 events, which includes workshops, trainings, and seminars, GDXs, Google I/O events, and we've served over almost 15,000 people over the last 4 years to 6 years, sorry. And that's how you can find us, the gbglka.com. This is our team, that's me. And then we've got Indu, who'll be talking about Women Will, and Danushki and Thirna. And recently we had a small expansion of the team. And these are the guys. What does GBG do in Sri Lanka? We have the Digital Garage, the Growth Hacking series, as well as the App series, which means giving you a full overview of how to use Google Apps for a zero-cost startup running phase, right? And then we've got entrepreneurial sessions, the Startup Week, as well as Google Business Tools and other things. And we've also got recently a host of women-based events called Girl Talk, Tech Lead, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'm being given the time, and I'm just going to skim through. So this is a rough idea of what we'll get with growth hacking. And this is the Digital Garage series, the free certification I spoke about earlier. You can go sign up on this website and start doing your own trainings, and you'll be awarded with a certification like this directly from Google. And we've got the startup stories. So if you've got any startups out there who are using Google technologies at the moment for your business work or for your productivity or in your product itself, you can apply for the Google Startup Stories, which is starting in June this year. And you can obviously win a chance to go to the Google I/O next year in San Francisco. Or else you can win a chance to go to Google headquarters for a mentoring of up to 2 weeks. So it's a good chance for one of you guys to go there. In 2014, it was won by Sri Lanka. So there goes. These are some of the categories and subcategories. So these are some of the photos of our global Google community. And these are some of the past events we've had in Sri Lanka. So if you guys want to join, any of you, I'd suggest finding us on GBG website or else on Facebook. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good evening. So Sajini would have given you a brief overview of the GBG community. So one of the important milestones of the GBG community this year was the launch of Women Will. Right, so Women Will is a Google initiative that was launched last year, and all over the community, all over the world, it's been launched since last year throughout this year. So Women Will is a Google initiative to create economic opportunity for women everywhere so they can grow and succeed. So one of the things that Google did in the past couple of years was they ran a number of pilot programs throughout the world to find out what the reason behind the lack of women presence in the C-suite and in entrepreneurship, in business. So these were some of their findings. One is the lack of digital literacy. So they found out that a lot of women don't have either access to devices, they don't have the skills or the knowledge. So this keeps them from the whole being online, being present online, and using digital technologies in their business. Another thing that they found out was in entrepreneurship, there's a lack of women's presence in entrepreneurship. There's a lack of women who want to start their own business, right? Another thing was inclusion in the workplace. So, for example, in Japan, what they found was women who get married and have about 2 children, they step out of the workforce. So they may be in the really high level of management or in the C-suite, but they drop out of the workforce and they just concentrate on taking care of their children. So why was this issue? Another thing they found was leadership. A lack of women's enthusiasm towards coming into levels of leadership. So these were the issues that they saw, and they tried to solve these issues to find out. So in different regions, if you see the first one was done in India, then the other one, the entrepreneurship, they found in Indonesia, India, Mexico, and then Japan, and then certain other countries. So what they did was they tried to find solutions for these issues after running these pilot programs. And they also realized by increasing women in business, just by advancing women's equality and global GDP could increase by $12 to $28 trillion by 2025. So they thought, hey, we can actually advance the whole GDP and the growth of the development of the world by just including more women in the business field. And in Sri Lanka, if you notice, we have about 21 million population. 50% of them are women. Out of the 8.5 active workers, only 2.85 million are women. And also, 70% of the women are economically inactive. So, the female labor force participation fell from 41% in 2010 to 36% in 2016. Why? Few things. Here, we notice there's a requirement for up-to-date skills, especially in technology, and work-life balance, and biases, gender biases. So, one of the solutions to these issues was found as if you put technology in women's hands, you can actually make them impact the business world. How do we do that?
First of all, I think just sitting in a room filled with women is really amazing.
Most of the things, as soon as they came out of someone's mouth, I'm like, been there.
We're all facing the same challenges, the same biases, the same issues at work, and it doesn't matter where we are.
I decided to support Google in empowering and equipping more women in leadership. Less than 18% of companies actually have structured a program in place to support and to equip young women into leadership positions.
The main takeaway I got out of today is to really not be scared of challenging the status quo.
At the end of the day, you want to involve men in the conversation because you want everyone to be on the same page and the same train. So it's not you against the world.
Learning to say no to people. I say yes to far too many things.
Asking for clear achievements and goals that I can have to prove myself, a more clarity and direction in my career.
I'm remarkable because I get stuff done. Because I'm a creative thinker.
Because I'm a good listener.
Because I'm compassionate. because I am strong.
So one of the things we found out was, so we regularly conduct training programs for both men and women with GBG. But one of the things we noticed was for every one of our events, the number of women participation is way below 50%. But when we started having events, we started having annual Women's Day themed events. And there you found there's a lot of women participation, and they open up, they ask questions, they talk, all of this. So going in line with the Google's Women Will initiation, we realized that if you have specific training sessions for women only, then there is far more participation of women and far more enthusiasm, curiosity. They're open to ask questions. They're not scared. They're not shy. We found these because of the cultural issues that we have in the Asian region. These have been commonly noticed things in the whole region. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to empower women. So what does empowering mean? Knowing your strengths and differences and embracing them. Men and women are obviously very different, but knowing where you lack certain skills and talents in the workforce, and knowing there are certain skills that you are actually blessed with because of your genetics, so knowing them and using them in the right way is one of the things. Knowing what you want and going for it. Breaking down biases and taking risks. So sometimes when we are, let's say, if I say doctor, who do you picture first? What's your imagination or what do you image as a doctor? Could it be a guy wearing a doctor's robe and a stethoscope? Most probably, right? So this is a bias. When you say nurse, what do you think? Usually it would be a female in a nice nurse outfit, right? So these are the biases that we have. When we mention a certain specific occupation or a role in society, we always picture parent, mom, CEO, male. So there are certain gender biases that we have because of what we are exposed during our lifetime. These are biases that we have accumulated. So these are the biases that we are trying to break. Knowing when to say no. Contrary to popular belief, women find it really difficult to say no. Inspiring and guiding others. So these are the ways that we are trying to empower women. Okay, so some of the things that we in the Women Will movement will look into is obviously digital skills programs, and we also want to partner and collaborate with other communities. So we are actually looking into partnering up with any other community that is interested in entrepreneurship, improving skills, all of that, and maybe even providing services and technologies to the community. So we are actually hoping to work with Mobitel in some of these areas and some of the other institutions that you may well know on entrepreneurship. And also network and community. In Sri Lanka, we are trying to build the network community of Women Will, and just like here, there are in 35 to 45 different other countries, there are communities of Women Will that we can actually communicate with, learn from their experiences, and even maybe at some point try to do business with them. So, why female entrepreneurship? Female entrepreneurs have the potential to create jobs, increase income, lift millions out of poverty, and lead to great economic and social transformation. Women are by nature nurturing. So when they do business, they do the business for their family and for their friends and for their immediate family. This is something that we have seen time and time again. So this is why one of the reasons why it is important to increase the number of women entrepreneurs. And we also have some challenges which we are trying to overcome. Access to credit, finance and capital, reconciliating with work and family life, lesser networking and mentoring opportunities that women are faced with, and unconscious bias. So how is Google planning on doing this? Through the GBG network. And in Sri Lanka, it is GBG Colombo that is launching this. So there are a number of slides, but due to time restrictions, I'm going to just run through them really fast. So women will workshop, a typical women will workshop, will have these objectives: develop a network of women trainers, inspire, promote an understanding how women entrepreneurs work, adapt, plan, and take back outline materials. So we will be training them in digital skills, entrepreneurship, leadership, and work-life balance. And these leadership trainings have 5 essential different levels. One is gender equality basics, unconscious bias, being and doing, managing and leading, and the factors that form us. These are the 5 different main topics that we are running on 5 different days. Actually 4 different days. And all of these, there are a lot of details on what all of these are going to cover. I will just quickly run through them. So, hold one more thing. So basically, what we are trying to address during these trainings, part of the training will go into leadership and soft skill training, where we will first expose the women to the biases that they have in their mind and the lack of skills that they think they have, and train them and give them the confidence and empower them enough to put this into practice. And on the other side, what we are trying to do is, just like the usual GBG training sessions, we will be training them in certain technical and business skills, like what Sajini was going through. So, right. So it's going to be a 4-week training program, and it's going to start this month. And if anyone is interested in joining, you can join with this. So Facebook has a group called Women Will Sri Lanka. The URL is this. You can log in, you can go visit this, join it, and you will have the registration form where you can join. Thank you very much.